Theo Day and this UNI offense with him as the quarterback. What do you see out of him, and what are your expectations going into Saturday?
Obviously, I think he's obviously an NFL quarterback. I think his mobility, arm strength, stability, all those different things, experience. I think he's one of those guys. So, very talented. Great offense surrounding him. A lot of veterans on that group, so it'll be a tall task.
Matt was just in here singing the praises of Jack Sadowski. What's been your impression of what he's brought to the linebacker room?
Yeah, I think it's really impressive for a young guy to learn all the things that he's learned. He's had a great spring and fall, so look forward to seeing what he brings. It's going to be for a lot of these guys, it'll be the first time in Jack Trace Stadium. So, but proud of him. I think he's just I think it's very impressive for a young guy to do what he's been able to do.
Matt talked about Mike Rose, obviously, as a comparison.
Right.
Maybe not in terms of how they play, but given the opportunity. What's, I guess, your thoughts on that?
I think the same. Like I said before, I don't like comparing guys. I think everybody's different. I think Jack's done a tremendous job with the opportunity that he's had, and has created great competition in there. I'm really excited to watch him play on Saturday.
What is Malik going to bring to that secondary after having to watch for most of last year?
Yeah, I think the one thing Malik has that even on our side of the ball, just some experience of being in some games and being around here for a while. Has been in this defense for a while. Been in with some of the new things that we're doing. It's been a little different for him, but I think it's been valuable to have a guy that has been in those meeting rooms a little bit and the expectations of what we're doing here.
Hey, Coach, what kind of impact do preferred walk-ons, or at least former preferred walk-ons, have? Ben Nickel comes to mind, on your defensive unit, and how have those guys impacted maybe your starters?
Yeah, I think as long as I've been doing this, and I think it's a great question. I think as long as I've been doing this, I think we've always as coaches tried to you view everybody with the same opportunity, and I think when you do that, it opens yourself up to there is some abilities. You're playing the guys that are out there doing it right all the time, and Ben's a great example of that. We've got some other guys. Caleb Bacon has done a tremendous job. Trent Jones done a tremendous job. But I think when you approach it that everybody's the same and you're trying to coach a defense or an offense or special teams or a team, I think the idea that everyone can contribute, everybody's important, and then as they develop, they can help you. But I think I've learned a long time ago that I don't ever put the preferred wall. I don't ever. That's not part of the surname. I think they're football guys, and the guys that learn and play the best and are trusted, they get to play. And I think those guys are great examples of doing that.
John, going back to the quarterback for a moment. In what ways is Theo Day good prep for what you guys will face throughout the rest of the year? Because it looks to me like you're going to face some pretty darn good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think, Randy, in this league, I mean, every week that we play somebody, outstanding quarterbacks, we're going to play one this week. We're going to play one next week. We're going to play one in Ohio. We're going to continue to play one down the stretch. So I think it's just part of the process. I think our guys understanding. They all have different things. I think the incredible thing about, Theo Day, I think the throws that he makes, his arm strength and the ability to stand in the pocket, escape when he needs to, but to stand on a hash mark and throw the field out cut is an impressive thing for anybody. And again, I don't, it's facts. I mean, it's on videotape evidence of what he can do with a football. So very impressive, got everybody's attention. And, I think it is prep, but at the same point, I mean, we're going to play good quarterbacks in our league. I don't think I've been here too many years that we haven't played good quarterbacks with the guys that we play.
What went into the decision of having J.R. Singleton wear number 58, and what about him is, kind of made him that guy?
Well, I think it goes to the long line of guys, and I think back even to Coach Bray. I think the characteristics and what we kind of look for in that position, and for us, it's a little different. I think we had a great handle on who Coach was. But I think the reality of for us is gathering information from what everybody tells you about that kind of person that he was, the kind of coach that he was, kind of leader that he was, player that he was at Pitt. And so you just try to find the same characteristics. And I think we were probably blessed this year a little bit. I think the race was pretty close, and then there were just a couple deciding factors that Coach Sheed and Coach Campbell kind of, leaned on to make that decision. But I think, for all of us, and being a coach, great respect for a guy like that has left legacy, and maybe didn't even realize he was doing it sometimes. And I think we all have that opportunity. But I think the characteristics that we've learned about him and from his family and all those things, that's what JR brings.
What's the confidence level in the linebacker room?
I think it's good. I think it's high. I think our guys are very confident. They're young. Gary Vaughn's done a tremendous job with bringing some confidence in that room. I think Coach Veit's done a good job. I think we've tried to, as a whole group, find what those guys do best and allow them to do what they do best, and then that gives you confidence. And we've tried to keep things, we talk about, clarity and simple and allows you to play fast. That's been our mantra here on defense is being able to play fast. I play fastest when I know what I'm doing. And we've tried to do a great job of allowing them to know what they're doing and allow them to have that confidence. But it comes through preparation, and we've still got a handful of days to go to get those guys ready.
You like to play a lot of guys, especially up front, rotating through at the D-line. Get into the situation there at nose guard with Dom Orange. Obviously, you're probably going to rotate some guys through there. Toby, Singleton, are they guys that can move inside and play that nose, or how's that
Yeah,
looking?
I think so. We've got a handful of guys that were working all along that front, with the, some of the split safety stuff with the 4 down and some of the obviously with our 3 down stuff that we've been doing, and I think being able to have a couple guys that can play both 3 technique and nose, and then 2 guys that can play ends, and then the ability I think another guy is like T.O. can go back in there and play if he has to, and add another end, like in some of the fronts that we use. So I think there's a good group there. We'll just continue to keep moving those guys around.
A couple weeks ago, you said that Joey Peterson plays like a Peterson. Can you kind of just break down what that means?
I guess for me, it's a little bit maybe even like Coach Brett. Like there's a sense of urgency. There is those guys that Zach, when he came here, there was a sense of urgency to be the best that he could be. Joey brings that every day. They're great in the classroom. They do a great job on the football field. Jerry runs down on our kickoff team. Zach Peterson ran down our kickoff team. Both those guys play defensive end. I think that pretty much sums up who those guys are. And I think just, the characteristics that they bring, to the table every day, that's who they are. They're hard work guys. They're strong. They love the game, and they love their team. And I think that's what I would say.
And then going off that, with him being a family legacy guy with playing the same position as his brother, how is Joey poised to create his own sort of story here?
Well, I think everybody does that. I think it goes back a little bit, not getting into comparisons. They are different guys and different body types, all of those things. But the mindset, to me, which is part of, I think, again, still some of the fascination of our defense, what I believe in is how we do stuff. And, excuse me, those guys are how guys. They work really hard. They train really hard. They live clean. They do the things that you're supposed to do. And, they become the guys that you can trust and count on. And you really can trust them and count on them when things are really, really crazy. And I think that's what really good players do.
Circling back to your linebacker crew, what can you tell us about Carson Willich and the resiliency he's shown in returning from an injury his senior year and getting to this point in his second season?
Yeah, I think it's been a tremendous journey for him, and I think he's still learning football. But I think, again, you look at character and, what he brings to be able to do what he's done and then come back and injury his senior year, injury a year ago, and then come back and be competing for the starting job. And I just think that whole group, he and Carson Marshall and Will McLaughlin, they all got a little bit of storm in their story. And I think anytime you have that, you can become really something special. And I think those 3 guys have all done that. And I'm excited to watch them play, as we move forward.